The tale commences as an individual addresses a gathered crowd, declaring that the awaited moment has arrived and enlisting their collective participation in a countdown from 5 seconds. As the countdown ensues, a man enveloped in a blue aura and clad in a hoodie quivers, gazing at his trembling hands, muttering that he has returned to a time before he became ensnared in this accursed game. He reveals that he had reached the 20th round and harbors a desire to halt time if possible. A display indicates that the rune of regression has been exhausted, its use is depleted at 100 out of 100. With a resolute gaze, the man asserts that since this is his final opportunity, he is determined to conclude this game. To achieve this, he must assemble 4 companions for the ultimate round, pondering aloud who among them would be suitable, as he removes his hood and fixes his gaze upon a particular individual. Several minutes earlier, a man sporting a smug expression stands amidst his friends, who excitedly chatter about impending adulthood. Another individual in their midst questions whether they still need to maintain pretenses, to which the reply is an enthusiastic negation. Donned in a black jacket, one of the group muses aloud about post-graduation plans, entertaining the idea of becoming a delivery man. Glancing back, he queries Youngmin about his aspirations, prompting Youngmin to respond with a smug smile, stating his intention to become a gangster, as if it hadn't been previously discussed. His companions react with disbelief and concern, cautioning him about the potential dire consequences. When questioned about the seriousness of his statement, Youngmin retorts that life is fleeting, and he simply desires to live it on his own terms, consequences notwithstanding. Privately, his friends contemplate cutting ties with him after graduation, deeming him reckless and derogatorily labeling him a retard. The man in the black jacket queries Youngmin about the fate of his personal shuttles upon graduation, referring to the MC. Youngmin retorts that he can't let go of that bastard even after graduating. One of his friends sarcastically comments on the situation, suggesting that the MC probably assumed everything would conclude after graduation. With a malicious grin, Youngmin counters, implying that it's far from over and that he intends to keep playing with the MC as long as possible. As the group focuses their attention on the MC, someone initiates a countdown from 5. Youngmin, with a smug expression, locks eyes with the MC, who responds with a cold, determined gaze, irritating Youngmin. He questions the MC's unusual demeanor, but the countdown ends with the crowd cheering for the new year. Youngmin, visibly agitated, demands to know why the MC is glaring at him, while a friend advises him to let it go, reminding him it's the first day of the new year. Another friend reassures him that there will be other opportunities for revenge. Eventually, Youngmin decides to postpone his retaliation for the day. The group celebrates, remarking on their newfound adulthood and exchanging New Year's greetings. Amidst their conversation, a voice interrupts, observing the fascination of humans celebrating the new year without understanding their circumstances. Confused, Youngmin asks if one of his friends made the comment, but they nervously deny it. Suddenly, an angel appears, commenting on the spectacle of humans behaving like ignorant monkeys in a cage. Some speculate on the nature of the angel, while others suggest it might be part of a New Year's event on TV. One individual, near the MC, expresses a chilling realization that if someone were to claim this scenario as real hell, they would believe it. While the others are captivated by the angel's beauty, the MC looks up, expecting her appearance and silently expressing his enduring disdain, despite having endured this cycle 99 times before. The angel chuckles derisively, likening humans to mere trash and scoffing at their infatuation with her appearance. She bluntly declares that it's best if they refrain from entertaining useless thoughts because she has no interest in associating with what she perceives as inferior beings. Leaning down toward the crowd, she rests her chin on her palm, asserting her certainty that they can all hear her, given their stunned reactions. A man in the crowd, looking up at the angel, incredulously questions her identity, wondering if she's merely a cosplaying enthusiast, and demands an explanation for her ramblings. Meanwhile, the MC, observing the unfolding events, expresses disappointment at the situation. The angel, her smile vanishing, directs a glare at the man with a crimson eye, finding his persistence annoying. In a swift motion, the man's head is obliterated, blood splattering in all directions, sending shockwaves through the onlookers who scream and flee in terror. Enraged by the man's insolence, the angel points accusingly at the crowd, questioning how a lowly human dared to speak so informally to her divine presence. Switching her tone, she asserts her authority, warning the crowd against arrogance if they wish to avoid meeting a similar fate. Spreading her wings above the trembling crowd, she demands their attention, insisting that they listen carefully as she prepares to elucidate the unfolding events. The MC, having heard the angel's explanation countless times before, is now bored with the repetition. As the angel continues her discourse, she announces the commencement of a game, 20 rounds, taking place on the 1st of every month, wherein participants' souls will be transported to a new dimension to undertake quests. Completing these quests earns rewards and the chance to return to the real world. Amidst the confusion of the crowd, questions linger in their minds: will completing the quests ensure their survival? In response, the angel coldly states that even quest completion won't guarantee survival, as she intends to spare only half of the participants, based on their order of completion. She reassures them that only individuals aged 15 to 29 will be involved, prompting relief from those outside the specified age range, much to the chagrin of the younger participants. The angel reveals the staggering number of participants: 1,801,029,290, before instructing them to prepare for soul transfer by shaping their bodies in their individual spaces. Participants are allowed to customize their appearance, with the caveat that this opportunity is their only chance, urging them to choose wisely. In his own space, the MC, known as Black Scythe, opts for familiarity, maintaining his appearance from previous rounds. As he's transported into the game world for the 100th time, he reflects on the sense of ownership he feels over his appearance, unchanged since the 12th iteration. Meanwhile, other participants join, astonished by their avatar's appearance, uncertain if their designs will translate accurately. Unfazed, the MC remarks on their vanity, warning that conspicuous appearances make one an easier target in a world where the strong prey on the weak, emphasizing the grim consequence: death in the game means death in reality. As expected, Gwang Yo-min arrives, showcasing his buffed-up avatar, drawing a nonchalant response from the MC. The angel appears, noting the participants' approval of their new avatars, albeit with expressions of fear, which she begrudgingly admits amuses her. She identifies the participants from Seoul, totaling 1,802,910 individuals, before growing impatient with their questions, asserting that there are other spaces managed by different angels conducting their own rounds. Calming herself, the angel proceeds with an official announcement, instructing the participants to mentally invoke their status window. They comply, including the MC, revealing his real name as Ryumin and his nickname as Black Scythe, a revelation that leaves him disheartened. The angel elaborates, reminding them that their current stats are inadequate, likening them to trash in gaming terms. Encouraging them to become stronger, she outlines the stakes: survival through 20 rounds grants freedom from the game and the fulfillment of a wish. Smirking, she reveals a gift for the first-place finisher. Yo-min, intrigued, accesses his inventory, discovering a random rune. The angel explains its single-use nature, clarifying that it can only be activated at level 1 and is the sole item granted at the game's outset. Detailing its usage, she instructs the participants to hold the rune and mentally command its activation. Judging the participants' discontent, the angel reiterates the inevitability of their circumstances, emphasizing the role of luck in their outcomes. With a snap of her fingers, she transitions the focus to the main event, a glowing window materializing before them, detailing their quest to vanquish 100 goblins each. As the goblins materialize, participants remark on the game-like quality of the survival challenge. Expanding her wings, the angel cautions against premature excitement, revealing that more goblins are yet to be summoned. Shocked by the overwhelming numbers, the participants are met with the angel's meticulous smile as she announces a showdown: 10,000 humans against 50,000 goblins. As chaos ensues and goblins charge, panic spreads among the participants. Amidst the turmoil, the MC steps forward, defying expectations. Bewildered, one participant questions his actions, expressing concern for his safety. Ignoring the warnings, the MC charges into the fray, unleashing a swift and decisive attack, sending a goblin hurtling through the air with a powerful kick to the head. When you're part of a group, the initial impression you make is crucial. The MC understands this well. He must etch the image of his power into the minds of the participants to avoid being overwhelmed. It's imperative that he captures the attention of the angel. This necessitates a performance. As he tightens his grip on his dagger, the MC effortlessly dispatches the incoming goblins, eliciting awe from onlookers who liken his demeanor to that of a seasoned special agent. Some remark on his coolness, while others belittle the goblins as mere weaklings in the game. Amidst these discussions, a goblin abruptly interrupts, viciously attacking a nearby participant before anyone can react. Shocked players witness the gruesome scene as the goblin's dagger slices through the man's stomach, sending the group into a panic. As chaos ensues, the MC continues to fend off the goblin horde, but the other players, now overwhelmed and defenseless, are swiftly dispatched one by one. Faced with the grim reality of their situation, terror-stricken screams echo through the air as they desperately plead for aid. In this inferno, it's abundantly clear that this is no longer a mere game. Survival is the singular focus. The primal urge to live overrides all other thoughts, leading participants to flee aimlessly, consumed by the instinct to endure. MC, having learned from fatal errors, understands the inescapable reality of this dimension only after facing death twice. As MC elucidates the dire circumstances, one participant, in a panicked attempt to escape, collides with an unseen barrier. Bewildered, she queries its nature, prompting another to futilely attack a goblin. Yet, the truth dawns: modern individuals, unaccustomed to the hunt, are ill-equipped to combat such foes. Despite this, survival demands they transcend these limitations. In the midst of the relentless conflict between humans and goblins, an observing angel finds amusement in the spectacle. With a smirk, she jests about the humans' futile struggle against the diminutive yet formidable foes, especially when armed only with daggers. However, upon noticing MC, her demeanor shifts, and she questions his significance. A glance at his stats reveals his alias an impressive goblin slaying tally. Disappointed by the restricted information, she laments the system's limitations, concealing crucial player data beyond quest progression. Dismissing the system interface, the angel contemplates the curious nature of mortal participants, reluctantly acknowledging her unexpected intrigue in their struggles. Meanwhile, as MC dispatches his 75th goblin adversary, he is rewarded with gold and experience points, further enhancing his prowess in this unforgiving realm. Dodging an incoming goblin's attack with a fluid motion, MC assesses the charging horde to his right. Effortlessly, he maneuvers through their ranks, dispatching each foe with precision. As he cleanses his dagger of bloodstains, he swiftly charges at another goblin, ending its life with a decisive strike. With a radiant red eye, MC confronts the remaining goblins, prompting them to reconsider their next move. Their trembling fear serves as a testament to his prowess, allowing him a moment to collect himself. Consulting the status window, he notes his ascent to level 4, allocating all gained stat points to agility. Emphasizing the importance of agility, he strategizes, confident that his rapid progress will pique the angel's interest and potentially lead to intervention. As a horde advances, MC swiftly hurls his dagger, striking down one goblin and causing the rest to falter. Their hesitation fuels his determination as he challenges them, but their frozen state forces him to act decisively. With a resigned sigh, he swiftly dispatches them, resolved to take matters into his own hands if they won't engage. In a fluid motion, he eliminates the frozen goblins, reaping rewards of gold and experience points. A screen appears, signaling the completion of the quest to slay 100 goblins and marking the end of the first round. Surrounded by a luminous aura, MC reflects on his effortless triumph, driven by his ambition to capture the angel's attention and secure the top rank. Another window emerges, commending MC on achieving rank 1 in completing the quest within the designated zone and across all zones, accomplished in a mere 10 minutes and 21 seconds. The sooner a quest of the round is completed, the more favorable the rewards, as they are granted according to rank up to 3rd place. Achieving rank 1 in his designated zone, MC receives the lowest rank rare weapon selection coupon. Rewards are allocated separately for the designated zone and across all zones, and for securing rank 1 across all zones, MC is granted a special reward selection box, offering him more favorable rewards than others. MC decides to utilize the weapon selection choice for the designated zone, prompting a window to appear with 3 options: a blue-edged longsword, a stiletto, or a javelin. Grateful for the opportunity, MC selects the stiletto, a rare weapon with an attack power of 15. Discarding his previous dagger, MC opts to save the special reward selection box for later use before closing the status window. However, before proceeding further, MC recalls receiving a title earlier, one he had never encountered in his past 99 attempts. Opening the status window once more, he retrieves the rune associated with the title and activates it. As the rune disintegrates, a window screen emerges, revealing that MC has utilized a random rune fragment and acquired the rune of regression, which will be imprinted on his body. The screen further indicates that remnants of the rune are detected within the player's soul, but the imprint has failed due to the rune's inherent traits. Expecting this outcome, MC remarks that the results were foreseeable, as a new imprint would have enabled infinite regression. As the system finishes imprinting the rune, it notes that the remnants detected within MC's soul confirm this as his 100th regression. It then bestows upon him the title a last-time regressor, leaving MC momentarily stunned. In this game, titles serve as superordinate concepts of runes, and thus, the more challenging they are to obtain, the greater their effects. Moreover, while the resurrection typically exists solely as a priest skill, and even then, only restoring up to 30% of health, MC's title grants him full health upon resurrection. Overwhelmed with joy, MC smiles, acknowledging that he has acquired something truly remarkable. As the MC stumbles upon this incredible title, they instinctively opt to conceal it by selecting the private option on their screen. Yet, to their surprise, the title's effects persist even in privacy mode, though it won't be publicly displayed under their username. Stretching leisurely, the MC muses that players who've completed the quest should be emerging by now, pondering how Yomin is faring. Scanning the surroundings, they catch sight of Yomin brandishing a dagger behind a player under attack by a goblin. With a wry smirk, the MC notes that Yomin seems destined to survive once again. Meanwhile, as the remaining players wrap up their quests, the angelic overseer gazes down, perplexed by the sudden monotony. She observes the dwindling numbers of players, now nearly balanced with the goblins. With a sigh, she acknowledges her oversight and ponders whether to inject more excitement. One player, cradling a fellow player in their arms, tears streaming down their face, queries the angel about her cryptic suggestion to make it more fun, just as the person in their grasp begins to glow and then vanishes inexplicably. Bewildered, the player gazes downward, witnessing the disappearance of all the deceased. Before any questions can be voiced, the angel conjures more goblins, eliciting startled reactions from the players. As the goblins materialized, they immediately surged toward the remaining players, instilling fear and panic among them. Amidst maniacal laughter, the angelic overseer gleefully announced that she had generously provided a free 50,000 goblin refill, adding to the chaos. Hesitant and weary, the players grasped their daggers and charged at the horde of goblins. However, the goblins quickly surrounded them, making it increasingly difficult to land any decisive blows. As more players joined the fray, the system notified them that 1,021 individuals had successfully cleared the quest out of 5,143 participants. Meanwhile, Yo-Min, holding another player hostage, found himself besieged by goblins. With time passing, more players managed to dispatch goblins, and the system updated the tally to 2,129 players out of 5,143 clearing the quest. Meanwhile, MC, having completed their quest, sat quietly within the barrier, observing as another player was helpless to save their friend from the goblins' onslaught. The system announced once more that 3,533 individuals out of 5,143 had cleared the quest. Noticing the angel's genuine amusement, MC regarded her with a determined gaze, recognizing her enjoyment amidst the chaos. As more people finished their quests, a glowing barrier surrounded them, and the system announced that 5,143 out of 5,143 had cleared the quest. Players who hadn't yet finished panicked, questioning why the goblins had suddenly disappeared. Observing the system's announcement of quest completion, the angel noted that now half of the players had passed, indicating the quest's fulfillment. However, she somberly stated that the remaining players had to perish, following the game's rules. Shocked and desperate, the players pleaded for explanations and second chances, to no avail. Slowly, those who hadn't completed the quest began to vanish, leaving the survivors speechless and bewildered. Addressing the dismayed players, the angel questioned their lack of happiness at being alive, reminding them that survival was an achievement. Congratulating the survivors on passing the first round, she encouraged them to strive for better results in the next round. Reviewing the detailed results, the system displayed Black Side's impressive first-place finish with a time of 10 minutes and 21 seconds, followed by Stupid Idiots in second with 16 minutes and 15 seconds, and Heavenly Demon in third with 17 minutes and 7 seconds. Another system screen revealed that Black Scythe maintained first place across all areas. A notification appeared in front of MC, declaring that they had cleared the quest and rewarding them with 1,000 gold for use in the shop, accessible upon reaching level 10. As other players stared at MC in awe of his achievements, he couldn't help but smirk, relishing the attention now that everyone knew he was in first place. Impressed by his performance, the angel in charge of his area approached him, marveling at his strength and inquiring about any special runes he might have obtained. Before she could finish her sentence, however, she caught herself, biting her lip. Looking up at her, MC casually asked if she couldn't discern his runes from his status window, to which the angel, somewhat shaken, hastily affirmed that she could. With a smile, MC inwardly scoffed at her response. Then, MC called out to the angel, asking if he could request a favor, leaving her momentarily flabbergasted. She questioned what he meant by a favor, and MC explained that he found the rewards for achieving first place to be insufficient. His boldness shocked all the survivors, even the angel herself. With a visibly angered expression, the angel demanded to know what MC had just said. Unfazed, MC calmly stated that he desired a better reward and expressed his dissatisfaction with the one he received. As MC stood his ground, everyone present was rendered speechless by his audacity, including the angel. Internally seething at the human's arrogance, the angel contemplated her options. While she couldn't simply eliminate him for his insolence due to her limited authority, a glimmer of mischief crossed her mind. Admitting she couldn't kill him outright, she instead proposed a compromise, acknowledging that such requests were typically denied outright. Descending to the ground, she informed MC that she needed time to consider his request and suggested they speak privately, instructing the others to wait until they returned. As MC and the angel made their way toward the forest, the other players were stunned by MC's audacity in negotiating with an angel. Some wondered if such negotiations were even possible, while others pondered if they, too, should demand better rewards. A few speculated that only those in first place, like Black Scythe, had the privilege to make such requests. Amidst the envy and speculation, MC paused in front of Yomin, fixing him with a fierce glare that left him utterly bewildered. With a smirk, MC continued following the angel, leaving Yomin puzzled in his wake. In the forest, the angel questioned why MC kept his distance, insisting he stay close. Gritting her teeth, she inwardly cursed the perceived stupidity and greed of humans, frustrated by the constant need to reiterate instructions. She lamented her lack of power to change rewards, acknowledging that even if she could, she wouldn't grant MC a better reward. As they walked, she shot a sidelong glance at MC, silently vowing to teach him a lesson for his greed. As they approached a rock in their path, the angel quietly resolved to end MC's life once they passed it. However, she quickly reconsidered the consequences of killing a player for personal reasons, realizing it could lead to complaints about fairness and even blame from higher authorities, potentially ruining the game. With a grimace, she acknowledged the need to eliminate any potential witnesses to her actions. Baring her teeth in frustration, she mused that MC should have kept quiet. Turning her gaze back to MC, she questioned him about the reward he desired. Before she could finish her sentence, MC suddenly lashed out, striking her squarely on the cheek with his fist. Stunned, the angel staggered backward, crashing to the ground as she struggled to make sense of the sudden turn of events. As the angel was struck squarely in the face, she collapsed to the ground, MC standing emotionless behind her. Staring at the golden blood flowing from her nose, she couldn't fathom what was unfolding, questioning if a mere human had delivered the blow. With a stream of curses directed at MC, she attempted to rise, ready to retaliate, but he had vanished without a trace. In a blink, he reappeared behind her, seizing her wings as she struggled to comprehend the sudden assault. Despite her cries of pain, MC remained impassive, tearing at her wings mercilessly. As she writhed in agony, he callously removed her left wing, admonishing her for her supposed theatrics. With a foot pressed on her shoulders, he cruelly tore away her right wing, leaving her helpless and screaming in pain on the ground. Gazing down at her wingless form, MC remarked that now she wouldn't escape without her wings. Meeting his gaze through tear-filled eyes, she reluctantly admitted to the pain, to which MC cynically recalled her earlier laughter. Confused and suffering, the angel demanded answers from MC, only to be silenced as he revealed a hidden dagger within her wing, intended for his demise. Stunned and enraged, she clenched her teeth, grappling with the betrayal unfolding before her. Observing her reaction, MC flung the wing aside, asserting that he knew her true intentions. In a futile attempt to defend her innocence, Brielle insisted she never harbored thoughts of harming him, but MC cut her off, claiming he could read her intentions plain as day, addressing her by name, Brielle. Startled by the revelation, she demanded to know how he knew her name, but MC brushed off her inquiry, asserting it was none of her concern as he retrieved his dagger from the system. Confounded by the unfolding events, Brielle questioned MC's actions and his sudden display of a weapon. He retorted, asking if she couldn't deduce his intentions. Attempting to assert her authority, Brielle threatened MC with the power to make him suffer, but he swiftly dismantled her bravado, reminding her she no longer possessed such abilities, further stoking her fury. In a fit of rage, Brielle shouted at MC, warning him of the consequences and vowing her fellow angels would avenge her. MC, however, scoffed at her proclamation, questioning the loyalty of her so-called comrades, dismissing them as selfish beings who wouldn't bat an eye at her demise. As MC declared it was time for her demise, Brielle trembled but defiantly warned him of the futility of her death, insisting it would not benefit him. Unmoved, MC coldly dismissed her concerns, stating it was not for her to decide, a fact she should be well aware of. Attempting one final intimidation tactic, Brielle cautioned him about the consequences of killing her, implying it would impede his return home. With indifference, MC revealed that their return was automatic, a fact that seemed to surprise Brielle. Despite her offer to share information in exchange for sparing her life, MC, holding up his dagger, declined, stating he already possessed all the necessary information, obtained through her torture. He revealed her role as a mere pawn, tasked solely with guiding others, shocking Brielle with the depth of his knowledge about her. Before she could comprehend the extent of his insight, MC lunged at her, delivering a swift, fatal blow without remorse. As her lifeless body fell to the ground, the system announced MC's historic deed, being the first player to slay an angel. With this accomplishment, he earned the title of the first ever Angel Slayer, along with the angel's blood as a reward for his unprecedented feat. MC, seizing the rewards, felt a surge of relief realizing he had once again claimed the title of the first Angel Slayer. Among the rewards was the Rune of Slaughter, which the system announced would be automatically sealed to his body upon use. MC was well acquainted with these rewards, having encountered them since his 13th iteration. Each reward was akin to a unique item, and this time, he had secured the Rune of Slaughter. The system explained that this title bestowed upon the bearer the ability to double their stats when facing divine opponents. MC smirked, satisfied with the outcome and the rewards. He mused aloud, anticipating the shock of the angels when they discovered he possessed a rune. Among the rewards, the angel's blood stood out as the most significant, categorized as a one-time use item with the unique effect of transforming the user's class into a Grim Reaper. MC pondered the implications of this transformation, knowing that changing classes was typically achievable at level 10, and there were 30 different job options. However, obtaining class-changing items was usually a natural progression during hunts or under specific conditions. Yet, there were exceptions, unique items attainable by only one individual under particular circumstances, offering unparalleled benefits such as bonus stats, skill options, and more. Despite returning without completing the final round, MC resolved to strive for first place in all zones. With 3 rewards at his disposal, he selected the triple EXP buff exclusive to the second round, emphasizing the urgency of reaching level 10 to unlock the ability to change classes. With determination in his eyes, MC turned his focus to the journey ahead, poised to conquer new challenges and unlock the full potential of his newfound rewards. As this marked his final chance to regress and start anew, MC knew he couldn't evade the challenge any longer. He had to grow stronger, no matter the cost. As he watched the angel vanish, the system declared the end of the first round, revealing the staggering number of survivors, 900,514,645 across all areas, with 5,143 in MC's vicinity. The system announced the imminent transfer of players' souls back to their original bodies, with the second round scheduled for February 1st. Yeomin, suddenly jolting back to his original body in Bosingak, looked around in confusion. Puzzled, he questioned if everyone else had experienced the same blackout. As others groggily regained consciousness, complaints about headaches and soreness filled the air. Yeomin shared his suspicion with his friends, noting the eerie correlation between the duration of their dream and the time on his phone. His friends, equally bewildered, questioned if it was all real and if they would have to return on February 1st. Uncertain and unnerved by the surreal experience, they contemplated the possibility that what they had just endured was more than just a dream. Yo-min, noticing his friend lying motionless on the ground, grew concerned and questioned why he wouldn't wake up. His friends, equally alarmed, attempted to rouse him to no avail, resorting to shaking him vigorously. As they turned him onto his back, they recoiled in horror, placing a trembling hand on his face to check for signs of life. With a trembling voice, one of them declared that he wasn't breathing and felt no pulse. Yo-min, wearing a smug expression, inquired if he was dead, prompting a wave of fear among his companions. As the realization sank in, they surveyed their surroundings, realizing that all those who hadn't awakened were lifeless bodies. Dread crept over them as they realized only half had survived, and they dreaded the thought of the next round. In contrast, Yo-min's demeanor shifted dramatically as excitement surged through him. Ignoring the fear gripping his friends, he exclaimed in exhilaration, declaring the situation to be awesome. In the midst of his excitement, he reflects inwardly that whether one is born with a silver spoon or not, survival is the common denominator, rendering futile any lamentations about life's perceived injustices. Urging his companions to compose themselves, he reassures them that mere survival is the primary objective, prompting him to question the source of their anxieties. His shaken friend interjects, deeming the situation unfair and expressing regret over unfulfilled experiences. Interrupting, Yo-min counters that everyone is grappling with the same challenges, challenging the notion of unfairness. Observing his friend's disdainful glances, he is silently labeled a lunatic. The bold companion remarks that, given Yo-min's past as a thug, he wouldn't perceive his own demise as unjust, contrasting his own aspirations. Catching Yo-min's gaze, he questions his focus, to which Yo-min dismisses any connection, claiming the person is no longer present. The bold friend jests, suggesting the person might be Yo-min's personal errand boy. In his thoughts, Yo-min ponders the person's whereabouts and recalls seeing MC before losing consciousness, speculating about MC's fate. Unfazed, he comments that someone like MC, a perceived loser, likely wouldn't have survived. After finishing his thought, he catches sight of someone clad in a garish chest plate and wonders about the person's identity and the origin of their tacky attire. Disbelieving what he just witnessed, a memory jogs his mind, and he murmurs, "Status window," prompting the system to materialize before him, displaying his in-game stats. Surprised by this unexpected turn, he is taken aback that the status window actually manifested. His friends, intrigued by his exclamation, echoed status window, and to their amazement, their own screens appear too. Yo-min questions his friend's puzzled expression, only to receive the same inquiry in return, with the revelation that they can only view their respective status screens. One of them wonders if they could utilize it in real life from the beginning, while the other speculates about the functionality of stats and items. Eager to test the theory, Yo-min picks up a pebble and crushes it with his grip, astonished as it transforms into grains of sand. Sporting a devilish grin, he exclaims once again how awesome the discovery is. Later, a news reporter solemnly recounts an astonishing event from that morning. Approximately 10,000 citizens lost consciousness during the bell-tolling ceremony at the plaza facing the Bosingak Pavilion in the Jongro area. Urging viewers to witness the footage, she describes an unidentified woman, resembling an angel, appearing above the pavilion and addressing the crowd. Suddenly, a man points at her and utters something, only to be instantly killed in a mysterious explosion. Following this, the woman extends her hand towards the crowd, resulting in the collapse of around 10,000 individuals. Police reports indicate that those affected were primarily aged between 15 and 29, with similar incidents occurring across 128 other countries. As MC scrolls through the inundation of comments on the news, he reflects that the anticipated event had begun, but this is merely the initial phase. While articles detail the deaths, he acknowledges that the actual issue lies elsewhere. Observing the news screen, he notes the transfer of players' abilities into reality and the absence of individuals with notably high stats currently. He explained that the current lack of impact is due to players' abilities not being significantly developed yet. However, as players level up, they will ascend to become transcendental beings, birthing literal human weapons that surpass even state-of-the-art weaponry and military might. MC has no intention of remaining passive as the world spirals into chaos, recognizing that Earth could be destroyed before even reaching round 20 if he does. He sees only one viable path forward, to assert control over all players with overwhelming force. However, achieving this requires a different approach from his previous life. In his past experiences, he needed 5 players to open the boss room, but now he has a few candidates in mind and has devised strategies to recruit them as allies. Yet, it's not yet time to execute his plans, because he has more pressing tasks at hand. Upon arriving home, MC notices something amiss as he opens the door, realizing that someone had opted for instant noodles for dinner once again. Venturing further into the house, he discovers his younger brother, Raiwan, fast asleep. With a gentle smile, he remarks on Raiwan's deep slumber despite his absence. Raiwan, in his 3rd year of middle school, is now under MC's sole guardianship after their parents tragically passed away in a car accident, marking a significant shift in their once normal family dynamic. As MC reflects on their changed circumstances, he notices the plaster on Raiwan's bruised hand coming loose and tenderly readjusts it with a heavy heart. With a sigh, he flicks on the light, rousing his brother from sleep. Rubbing his eyes, Raiwan checks the time on his phone, informing MC that it's only 6 a.m. However, MC interrupts his brother's drowsy musings by swiftly pulling off his blanket, urging him that they can't afford to waste any more time. Raiwan, still groggy, inquires about the urgency, prompting MC to promise to explain everything, but insists that Raiwan change his clothes first as they need to depart. With a tired yawn, Raiwan asks where they're headed, suggesting he'd prefer to catch a few more winks if it's just to watch the sunrise. With a calm voice, MC urges Raiwan to listen attentively, emphasizing that now is not the time for peaceful slumber, considering the chaotic state of the world. Confused, Raiwan mentions MC's attendance at the bell-tolling ceremony and inquires if something significant occurred. MC suggests they continue the conversation outside while walking, prompting them to step out of the house and stroll side by side. As they walk in silence, Raiwan notices the gravity of MC's demeanor, pondering the severity of the situation that has clearly unsettled his brother. Startling him, MC questions if Raiwan is oblivious to the recent world events. Shaken, Raiwan asks why MC seems so ominous and if something transpired while he slept. Leading Raiwan along, MC directs him to check the trending searches on his phone. Raiwan browses through the results, bewildered by headlines describing an angel appearing and transporting people to another world. MC clarifies that only their souls were taken, not their physical bodies. Rattled, Raiwan questions if MC was among those taken, to which MC confirms, elaborating that he narrowly survived by slaying 100 goblins. Concerned for MC's well-being, Raiwan asks if he sustained any injuries. MC dismisses Raiwan's worry, but Raiwan insists, stating that MC is his only family now. In his thoughts, Raiwan reflects on MC's resilience after their parents' passing, recognizing him as a pillar of strength. However, he acknowledges the disparity between inner strength and facing physical threats like goblins, especially considering MC's lack of physical prowess. With a reassuring smile, MC addresses Raiwan's thoughts, explaining that the other world operates with a stats system similar to that of games, rendering their physical conditions irrelevant. This revelation eases Raiwan's concerns, prompting him to inquire if that's truly how it works. MC confirms, and then teasingly remarks that Raiwan might have a different opinion after witnessing what's to come. Perplexed, Raiwan asks for clarification, demanding to know what MC means by that. In response, MC invites Raiwan to follow him if he wants to find out, but Raiwan refuses to budge until MC discloses their destination, earnestly requesting an explanation beforehand. Halting in his tracks, MC gazes back at Raiwan, noticing the wound on his hand. With a somber tone, he utters the name Bang Taegyu, leaving Raiwan stunned. MC reveals their destination, Bang Taegyu's hideout, the individual who bullies Raiwan. The MC reveals that Bang Taegyu has been harassing him, shocking Raiwan. Raiwan, muttering to himself, asks how the MC knows about it. Instead of answering, the MC retorts, asking if Raiwan really thought he wouldn't find out. Concerned, Raiwan reflects that he didn't want to make it obvious because his older brother is already struggling. While Raiwan is lost in thought, the MC silently apologizes and explains with a frown that he only discovered the truth a few hours after returning from the first round. While he was sleeping, Raiwan had stepped out, and the MC was awakened by a phone call from someone asking if he was the guardian of student Raiwan, urgently requesting him to come to the hospital. Rushing out of the house, the MC found that after the incident, Raiwan had returned blind, having been beaten up by Bang Taegyu. Feeling weak and foolish for failing to protect his younger brother, the MC looks directly at Raiwan, silently apologizes again, and reassures him that he won't let anyone bother him again. In a warehouse, a man is kicked to the ground by a blonde guy, who swears at him, demanding to know why they haven't each brought 200,000 won. As the man groans in pain, the blonde guy angrily asks why they aren't responding and if they think his words are meaningless. In his rage, the blonde guy stomps on the man while his lackeys stand by, praising him. One lackey comments on his ruthlessness, even towards losers, while another quietly notes that it's no wonder the seniors from the other school also grovel to him. The bald guy adds that no matter what happens, they shouldn't mess around with Taegyu. Walking towards his lackeys, Taegyu complains about his failed plan to buy a motorcycle with today's money, griping about how useless his subordinates are. Cracking his neck, Taegyu glares at one of his lackeys and asks if there's anywhere they can get money from. The frightened lackey stammers, repeating Taegyu's question. Taegyu affirms and demands they think of a solution. The lackeys, hands on their chins, start to ponder. After a few moments, the bald guy gets an idea. Approaching Taegyu, he suggests targeting Taegyu's errand boy, describing him as the tall, curly-haired one, and wonders why Taegyu hasn't called him yet. With a smirk, Taegyu recalls Raiwan's name and remarks that he was planning to call him today anyway, adding that Raiwan needs to get beaten up a bit for the new year. As Taegyu turns around, the bold guy behind him tells another lackey that they can get money from Raiwan. The other lackey replies that it will work out. Hearing this, Taegyu turns his head and says that Raiwan is a complete bum. The bold guy asks what he means. Taegyu explains that even after getting completely beaten up by him, Raiwan couldn't bring a single penny and lives in some shabby place too. The lackeys, frowning, find it hard to believe Raiwan is broke. Taegyu adds that Raiwan also doesn't have parents and lives with his brother, but before he can say more, he notices something. The bold guy questions what is wrong as the other guys look at the entrance in shock. MC walks through the entrance with a fixed gaze, with Raiwan fearfully following behind him. Taegyu and his lackeys, confirming it is MC and his brother, smirk with malice. Taegyu steps forward and remarks, "Speak of the devil," then corrects himself, saying they aren't the devil but bastards. In a sudden change of mood, Taegyu angrily shouts Raiwan's name, calling him a bastard. Raiwan, standing next to MC, apologizes shakily. Taegyu, annoyed, wonders who MC might be, calling him a bastard and finding his expression irritating. With his hands in his pockets, Taegyu asks Raiwan who the guy beside him is and if he brought another errand boy because he thought he'd be bored. Raiwan tries to reply but is too shaken to speak. Before Raiwan can mutter any more words, MC, with a cold smirk, tells Taegyu that he is Raiwan's brother. Taegyu, excited, cracks his knuckles, reminding Raiwan that he told him to watch his mouth, yet he tattled. He continues, saying that both Raiwan and MC are going to be dead today. Taegyu looks at his minions and tells them to go forward. Smiling, they all walk towards MC and his brother. One of them, while tucking up his sleeves, remarks that the world has gotten better now that Taegyu has an errand boy who defies him. The guy in front of him asks Raiwan if MC is good at fighting as he approaches MC. As the guy gets closer, he bends down, gesturing about their height, and asks if they should really fight. Before he can say another word, MC punches him directly in the face, sending him tumbling to the ground in pain, shocking the others. One guy prepares a punch and launches at MC, only to miss as MC evades it and punches him on the cheek, sending him flying towards some barrels. The first guy who got punched gets up and swears at MC, asking how he dares to punch him. The bald guy comes at MC with a punch, yelling for him to die, but before they can strike, MC punches them straight in the face, making them fall to the ground and moan in pain. Watching this unfold, Taegyu laughs maniacally, thinking that MC is just a nerd who must have learned boxing somewhere. Taegyu confidently walks towards MC, calling out to him and telling MC that he must be acting out like this because he learned boxing somewhere. As he stands in front of MC, looking down on him, he continues, remarking that MC must not have learned the importance of weight class in boxing. MC responds calmly, telling him that he must not have watched the news. Taegyu, irritated, asks angrily what news he's talking about. MC, disappointed, looks away from Taegyu, which further annoys him. Taegyu lunges at MC, preparing to punch him and shouting to know what news MC was talking about. MC effortlessly dodges the strike, frustrating Taegyu even more. Taegyu continues to throw punches and kicks, but MC dodges and evades all his attacks. Taegyu, unable to land a hit, starts calling MC at the flying squirrel bastard and grows increasingly tired. Breathing heavily and clenching his fists, Taegyu wonders why he can't land a hit on MC. Before Taegyu can catch his breath, MC prepares a punch, telling Taegyu that if he had watched the news, he would have known better than to come at a player like him. MC punches Taegyu right on the cheek, sending him tumbling back. After a few moments, Taegyu regains his footing and launches at MC again, calling him a fucking lunatic. As Taegyu throws his punch, MC evades, leaving Taegyu wondering where he went. When Taegyu tries to look back, he gets punched in the face again, making him step back. Holding his face, Taegyu tells MC that he could knock him out with a single punch, but before he can continue, he coughs out his broken teeth. Staring at his fallen teeth in his palm, Taegyu screams and threatens to kill MC. He tries to punch MC again, telling him to die, but MC evades and grabs hold of his wrist, shocking Taegyu. MC punches Taegyu in the face twice, making him tumble and groan in pain as his lackeys watch in disbelief. Looking back at MC with a disheveled face, Taegyu, in his head, thinks that MC is deliberately targeting his face. Still looking at MC as he stands behind Taegyu, smiling with one hand in his pocket, Taegyu concludes that MC is a sly little piece of shit, and if he could just land one punch. He launches towards MC again, preparing to punch him, saying please, but before he can get close, MC kicks him, sending him flying into the wall. As MC walks towards Taegyu, who is moaning in pain, he calls out his name and coldly asks if it hurts. MC remembers that even after regressing so many times, he can't forget his emotions from that day, vowing to never experience that horrendous hell again. As MC walks closer to Taegyu, Taegyu tries to get up, holding his neck and coughing, pleading with MC to not come close and to stop. MC gets down to him, holding his hands, which confuses Taegyu. MC tells him that he shouldn't have messed with his brother as he breaks Taegyu's fingers. Taegyu looks down at his hands in shock, realizing that his fingers are broken, and screams in pain. But before he can get over the pain of his other hand, MC grabs his right hand, and realizing what will happen, Taegyu screams for MC to stop. But before he can plead anymore, MC cracks his other fingers, scaring away the other lackey who was watching. Raiwan, unable to handle the sight anymore, looks away in horror as he hears Taegyu's screams. MC gets up, looking down on Taegyu, and tells him that if he touches his brother again, he knows what will happen. Taegyu, crying in pain, mumbles that he won't touch him. MC smiles and remarks that's how it should be, continuing while grabbing Taegyu's hands again, stating that you never know when Taegyu will change his mind. So, breaking his wrist, MC remarks that he has to make sure as Taegyu screams in pain and agony, the sound echoing from outside the hideout they were in. A little while after, as both brothers walk in the street, Raiwan nervously calls out to MC, asking him how he did that to those guys and if he had learned martial arts or something. MC looks back at him, asking if he hadn't read the articles properly and explaining that players can use their abilities in the real world as well. Raiwan asks MC how, to which he manifests a golden aura that turns into a blade, surprising Raiwan, who remarks that a knife came out of thin air. MC asks Raiwan if it's fascinating and explains that they can even summon weapons from the other world like this. Raiwan asks if those quick movements just now were his otherworld powers too, and mentions that he even dodged Bang Taegyu's punches. MC replies that it was because his agility stat is at 11, which Raiwan questions, asking if it's like in-game stats, to which MC confirms exactly. MC tells Raiwan to think of it as 3 for a normal adult and 10 for an athlete. Raiwan asks MC what happens if he levels up later, to which he shrugs and tells him that he doesn't know and that he had never gotten to that level before. In his thoughts, MC remarks that of course, that was a lie, as he doesn't plan on telling Raiwan that he is a regressor. In his 11th regression, he revealed everything to him, and a player kidnapped Raiwan. MC took revenge, but he doesn't want his brother to endure such indignity because of him. Moreover, in future fights between players, he needs to be ready to protect Raiwan above all else. As MC looks at his brother, Raiwan's stomach grumbles, and MC asks him if he wants to get breakfast at the convenience store, confirming if he's hungry, to which Raiwan replies with a yeah. Inside the convenience store, Raiwan asks MC where he's going as the instant noodles are the other way. MC, walking towards an ATM, tells Raiwan to wait just a second. As MC inserts his card into the ATM, he checks his cherished savings balance, totaling 133,000 won. Withdrawing the money, Raiwan asks him why he withdrew so much cash, to which MC, holding the money, replies that it's because he had to use it somewhere. MC asks Raiwan how about they choose something from this section, to which Raiwan replies that there's only pricey stuff here, as all of the items are over 5,000 won. MC reassures him, telling him that it's okay and that he should eat all he wants today, asking Raiwan if it's New Year's and if he is still going to eat instant noodles. Raiwan, hesitant, asks MC if they will have money left for their expenses, to which he replies that they will and tells him to choose something. With a blushful smile, Raiwan picks up a food item and tells MC that they should eat this grilled red chili paste pork belly, as he'd wanted to try this so much. MC, with a warm smile, tells Raiwan that they should go to a proper restaurant and eat all they want soon, asking him how about some hanwoo. Raiwan giggles and tells MC that they can't afford hanwoo and that he's more than satisfied with what he just got. In his thoughts, MC tells Raiwan to wait just for a few days, as after that, he'll make sure that Raiwan gets all the meat he wants so much that he gets tired of it. Raiwan grabs a slice of the meat and adds it to the rice, remarking with a cute face that it is tasty. He tries to thank MC, but as MC stands up, he asks if he is going somewhere, to which MC replies for him to wait there. As MC walks away, Raiwan looks at him with concerning eyes, and after a while, he slams a pen on the table, shocking Raiwan, who asks if he withdrew all the money to buy Lotto. MC affirms, and Raiwan asks him how many tickets he got, to which he replies that he got 20. Raiwan, shocked, asks MC why he would spend 100,000 won on lottery tickets when he doesn't even know if he will win. MC calmly tells Raiwan that he will find out, while he looks over his shoulders and asks what he is doing in concern. He continues, asking why he would mark all of them one after another. MC, looking back at Raiwan, replies that he's marking all of them because they are the winning numbers. In their house, MC and Raiwan sit around a table holding their phones, watching the 1049th Lotto lottery draw. The reporter announces the start of the draw as Raiwan bites his nails in anticipation, thinking they are screwed and telling his brother that he blew away those 100,000 won. The reporter announces that the balls are turning, and Raiwan, still depressed, remarks that it would have been better to just spend that much money on some tasty food instead. Seeing this, MC asks Raiwan to stop biting his nails as the reporter announces the lucky numbers. The first lucky number is 3, the second lucky number is 18, the third lucky number is 9, and the fourth lucky number is 38. Raiwan, still watching the reporter announce the lucky numbers, slowly stops biting his nails in shock as they continue revealing the lucky numbers. The reporter summarizes the winning numbers for the 1049th Lotto, revealing that the numbers 3, 18, 9, 38, 1, and the bonus number being 5 match the receipt that Raiwan is holding. Raiwan, with shock and excitement, shouts that it is crazy and asks if they really won first prize. With tears of joy filling his eyes, Raiwan asks his brother to pinch his cheeks, to which MC replies for him to pinch them himself. Raiwan, still holding the phone, asks MC if it is a dream, to which MC replies with a gentle smile, asking if Raiwan wants it to be a dream. Raiwan reluctantly shakes his head, telling MC no, as he never wants this to be a dream. MC tells Raiwan that he shouldn't worry, assuring him that it isn't a dream. Raiwan, still needing confirmation, asks again if it really isn't a dream. MC, with a bashful smile, confirms to Raiwan that it isn't a dream. Raiwan, holding the lottery ticket, stands up and shouts with joy, announcing that they won first prize. Seeing this, MC asks Raiwan to lower his voice so the neighbors don't hear, making Raiwan quickly fall silent. MC, smiling, asks Raiwan if he is really that happy, to which Raiwan responds enthusiastically that he is and asks MC if he is as well. MC nods, saying he is happy too, and recalls that when he first won the lottery, he also shouted with excitement. However, after winning dozens of times, it has become more of a routine or annual event for him. After regressing, MC needs to quickly secure some cash because the economy is faltering with 900 million deaths, and upcoming item trades among players will require cash. Back in the present, Raiwan, holding all the tickets, is stunned that they won first place in all 100 games and asks how much the winnings amount to. MC replies that he isn't sure but thinks to himself that it is probably a world-changing jackpot of the highest level. MC arrives in front of the non-high-up bank and walks through the door, thinking that because he's won the first prize dozens of times before, he's not nervous at all. MC approaches the counter and tells the receptionist he is there to collect his first prize winnings. Hearing this, the receptionist congratulates MC and thinks, despite being a lotto prize winner, he just looks like a student. Finishing his thought, the receptionist asks MC where he bought the lotto ticket. MC replies that he bought it from QS24 Yeongwi store. The receptionist, shocked, recalls a recent conversation where someone mentioned that 115 games had first prize winners this time, with 100 of them from the QS24 Yeongwi store. The person had told him that if anyone claimed to have bought their tickets there, he should notify the bank's president, as that person would become a VVIP customer. Lost in his thoughts, the receptionist is brought back to reality by MC calling out to him. Apologizing, the receptionist asks MC to wait for a bit, to which MC agrees. A little while later, a man dressed in a suit approaches and thanks MC for waiting, introducing himself as Jeon Junho, the president of Non-Hyup Bank, and shakes MC's hand, and MC replies that his name is Ryumin. The president congratulates MC on winning the first prize in the lotto and suggests they move to a more comfortable location, offering to accompany MC personally. Moments later, they arrive at the lottery ticket business team area, where the president guides MC into a room. Upon entering, a woman stands up and bows respectfully to both the president and MC. As she bows, she wonders if MC might be the president's son. The president introduces MC as their VVIP lucky customer who has come to collect his winnings, instructing the woman to ensure MC is comfortable. The woman can hardly believe it and privately questions if MC truly won the first prize in 100 games and is now a VVIP. The president reassures MC that he can relax completely, for which MC thanks him. Despite her nervousness, the woman composes herself and greets MC, offering him coffee, juice, or green tea. Before she can finish, MC politely declines and expresses his priority to collect his winnings first. As the woman takes a seat, she asks if she can inspect his winning lotto tickets, to which MC hands them over. Examining the tickets with astonishment, the woman cannot believe that all 100 tickets are stamped with the same numbers, wondering to herself if MC can predict the future. After completing her check, she informs MC that the verification is complete and confirms that he indeed won first prize in all 100 games. MC then inquires about the amount of his winnings, prompting the woman to stammer nervously as MC observes calmly. Finally, the woman manages to reveal that his winnings total approximately 22.5 billion won. Excluding taxes, the winnings amounted to 15 billion won, and after receiving the money, everything went smoothly. Initially, MC found a house for them to move into. In the afternoon, he opened a stock account in anticipation of Bitcoin surging fivefold next month, planning to invest the proceeds in stocks. Later that day, MC asked his brother Raiwan what he thought about the house they had finalized the day before, inquiring if he liked it. Raiwan replied enthusiastically, expressing his delight and noting it was the largest and most luxurious house he had ever seen, albeit only in pictures. MC assured Raiwan it was the best option available for an immediate move. Reflecting on their decisions, Raiwan asked MC why he had signed a lease instead of purchasing the house outright, given their substantial funds. MC explained that aside from 1 billion won, he had invested the rest in Bitcoin, which astonished and left Raiwan speechless. MC approached him, holding his shoulders, and reassured Raiwan that his actions were deliberate and planned. MC went on to explain that they could always rely on winning more from the lottery, citing a dream where he had seen a set of 4 numbers, which excited Raiwan as it was a renowned lottery number dream. Excitedly, Raiwan shook MC and asked if he remembered all the numbers from the dream, emphasizing their importance. MC, being shaken back and forth, assured Raiwan that he wouldn't forget them. As he freed himself from Raiwan's grasp, MC couldn't help but wonder how many times his brother had done this, knowing he couldn't possibly forget those numbers. Heading towards the door, MC suggested to Raiwan that they go out for lunch and that he should get ready. Confused, Raiwan asked why he needed to get ready and where they were going. It dawned on MC that he hadn't informed Raiwan yet, so he turned back and told him they were moving today. Meanwhile, in the neighborhood, Yo-min punched the wall with all his might. Surveying the damage, he smirked, pleased with the outcome of his punch. Remembering his decision to invest heavily in strength stats and equipping the muscular strength rune that doubled his strength, Yo-min clenched his fists again in disbelief at his newfound power. Smirking at the results of his punches, he mused that even Tyson would envy his nuclear fists and decided it was enough testing. Looking down at his clenched fist, he resolved to move on to the real challenges ahead. After a while, Yo-min arrived at MC's house and began knocking on the door loudly, calling out his name. Getting no response, he muttered to himself, doubting that MC would get beaten up, but was now ignoring phone calls and hiding away. With an angered expression, Yo-min recalled the New Year's celebration incident where MC had arrogantly brushed him off, and he resolved not to let it slide. Growing increasingly frustrated, veins bulging with anger, Yo-min declared that MC would meet his end by Yo-min's hands. Continuing to pound on the door and twist the handle forcefully, Yo-min remarked bitterly that even though they were both players, a loser was still a loser and MC needed to learn some manners. After giving the door a relentless beating, Yo-min paused, convinced that MC was hiding inside, and demanded to know why he wouldn't come out. Sarcastically, Yo-min muttered that his bastard friend wasn't home and that he would leave now, leaning against the door in frustration. Through gritted teeth, Yo-min vowed that he would break down the door at the sound of a breath from inside. Before he could finish his thought, he was interrupted by an elderly man calling him a student. The old man, standing on the stairs, asked Yo-min what he was doing at someone else's door. Irritated, Yo-min retorted, questioning if the man owned the house. The old man calmly affirmed and adjusted his glasses, surprising Yo-min. The old man inquired about Yo-min's purpose there and asked if he was visiting a friend. Confused for a moment, Yo-min replied that MC was his friend and requested the old man to open the door. Yo-min explained that he suddenly couldn't reach his friend and asked for assistance. Before he could finish, the old man sadly informed Yo-min that the house was now empty, and the student who lived there had moved away today. Shocked, Yo-min demanded to know where MC had gone, but the old man could only say he wasn't sure of the new location. Furious, Yo-min clenched his fists, cursing MC as a bastard for running away without a word. Meanwhile, MC and his brother arrived at their new residence inside a massive skyscraper. Raiwan gazed up in awe, commenting on how tall it was. Upon entering, he was fascinated by the revolving door at the entrance. As MC handed over an access card, Raiwan continued to be mesmerized by the amenities, marveling at the security measures when MC underwent identity verification. Inside the lift, Raiwan expressed his amazement at the place, and upon reaching their floor, MC instructed Raiwan to follow him. Arriving at their new home, Raiwan, still amazed by everything, asked MC how big the place was. MC replied that it was 100 pyong, approximately 3,558 square feet, which stunned Raiwan. Walking into their spacious home, Raiwan questioned if it wasn't too big for just the two of them. MC explained that he had plenty of money, so they might as well live in a place like this. Curious about the cost, Raiwan asked how much MC paid. MC revealed he had paid a deposit of 5 billion won, around £2.9 million, and a monthly rent of 22 million won, around £12,600, which shocked Raiwan. Until recently, even spending 5,000 won on a convenience store lunch had made his heart race. Still reeling from the amount spent on the house, Raiwan voiced his concern that it was too expensive and they should have chosen a cheaper place. MC countered, explaining they needed to spend this much for the excellent security. MC recalled that during the first month, players often fell into hypnolepsy when they were most vulnerable. Natural disasters like fires or earthquakes, as well as assassins hired by other players, posed significant threats. Therefore, players needed to prepare for these dangers in the safest place possible to ensure survival in the other world. No matter how successful one was in the other world, dying in reality meant it was all over. After checking out the house, MC asked Raiwan if he liked it, to which Raiwan enthusiastically replied that he loved it. Hearing his brother's answer, MC smiled and expressed relief that Raiwan was happy. Suddenly, Raiwan's expression turned somber, and he looked down with a frown, apologizing to MC. He explained that next month, he would be dragged to the other world again to fight, but he had been so happy and thoughtless. MC gently slapped Raiwan's shoulder and asked him why he was feeling down, questioning if Raiwan thought he wouldn't return from the next round. Feeling a sting from his brother's concern, Raiwan replied that he was just saying it as a precaution. MC reassured Raiwan not to worry unnecessarily and suggested he go downstairs to eat, mentioning a delicious Korean restaurant on the shopping mall's second floor. Raiwan nodded in agreement, saying okay. Later, MC checked his phone and noted that Yo-min must have discovered he had moved. Deciding to ignore him since they wouldn't bump into each other in reality anyway, he pondered the uncertainties of the other world. The next morning, after waking up and seeing Raiwan, MC yawned and asked where his brother was heading. Raiwan replied that he was up early to pick up rice cakes he had ordered. Confused, MC questioned why Raiwan had ordered rice cakes, noting it was something he had never done before. He reflected that regressing didn't mean repeating the same situations, especially since Raiwan had never bought rice cakes previously. Curious, MC asked Raiwan why he had bought rice cakes. Raiwan explained that since they had moved, they needed to give some rice cakes around to be good neighbors. MC nodded thoughtfully, reassuring Raiwan that being good neighbors was a positive thing and praising his thoughtfulness. Raiwan grinned excitedly, affirming his decision. Raiwan suggested to MC that he take care of distributing the rice cakes so that Raiwan could rest. However, MC insisted that they greet their new neighbors together, suggesting they wait while he changed. After a short while, they rang a doorbell and were greeted by a tenant asking who they were. Raiwan explained that they were the new neighbors and had come to introduce themselves. A lady emerged and greeted both brothers warmly, noting their resemblance and guessing correctly that they were siblings. Raiwan smiled and confirmed, holding out the rice cakes. He offered them to the lady, suggesting she enjoy them while they were still warm. Gratefully accepting the gift, the lady thanked them. Raiwan bowed politely and bid her farewell, while MC mentioned they were from Unit 4302 and had moved in the previous day. The brothers continued their rounds, visiting every door in their area, handing out rice cakes, and wishing their neighbors well. After finishing, they entered the elevator. Raiwan remarked to MC that there was only one house left and encouraged him to stay strong as they couldn't tire now. MC agreed, emphasizing they should complete their greetings and then head home to rest. After reaching the penthouse floor, MC informed Raiwan that it encompassed both the 44th and 45th floors. Raiwan reacted with shock, realizing the scale of the residence and suggesting that the occupants must be extremely wealthy. MC speculated that they were likely the child of a conglomerate or a celebrity just as Raiwan rang the doorbell. When there was no immediate answer, Raiwan commented that they might not be home. MC decided to ring the doorbell again, but Raiwan, feeling flustered, suggested they might not be there and should leave. Before they could depart, both brothers noticed something, causing Raiwan to turn back in surprise and exclaim that the person approaching was actress Seo Arin. Looking at the confused Arin, Raiwan commented on how pretty she was, likening her to an angel. Meanwhile, MC remained unsure of what was happening or who she was. Arin's bodyguard intervened, placing his hands in front of MC and Raiwan, blocking them and standing between them and Arin. he questioned their presence, asking if they were her fans. MC, staying composed, calmly explained that they had just moved into the floor below. As the bodyguard listened, Raiwan stepped forward and offered him the rice cake. The bodyguard asked if they were simply here to introduce themselves. Raiwan, smiling and trying to hand over the cake, insisted they take it. However, the bodyguard interrupted, declining politely on behalf of Arin, stating she didn't eat such things. This left both brothers confused. As the bodyguard escorted Arin past MC and Raiwan, he tapped his card against the door lock and opened it for her. Arin hesitantly entered, casting a sad glance back at them. Observing the bodyguard's demeanor, MC remarked that he didn't know who they were, but found the bodyguard rather rude. Turning to Raiwan, MC advised him not to let such people bother him. Raiwan, still fixated on the encounter, expressed excitement, asking MC if he saw what happened and how amazing it was. Perplexed, MC asked Raiwan what he meant. Leaning in closer, Raiwan reiterated that he had seen her too, emphasizing that she was Seo Arin. Still uncertain, MC looked at Raiwan and asked who Seo Arin was. Seo Arin sat on her sofa, scrolling through her phone, her thoughts heavy with recent news about actors dying and the survival rates of those taken to the other world. Her friend Hong Seon-ah messaged her about Goong Seojin's death, and Arin confirmed she had heard. Seon-ah suggested they attend the funeral together, and Arin agreed, acknowledging how much Seojin had cared for them. Setting her phone down, Arin reflected on how even celebrities like Seojin couldn't survive the challenges of the first round without the protective rune. She sighed, recognizing her own fame and musing that she would surely make headlines if she were to die. Glancing at the TV, she pondered whether she would have achieved her current status without sponsorships and the luxurious penthouse provided for her. Lost in thought, Arin was startled when her bodyguard approached and asked what she was thinking about. Startled, Arin initially dismissed it as nothing. However, her bodyguard sat next to her and reassured her it was okay to share, always ready to listen. Reluctantly, Arin admitted she was contemplating the state of the world and how she would survive the next round. Meeting her gaze firmly, the bodyguard comforted her not to worry about what was to come, reminding her that she had him for support. Looking away, he noted she worried too much and should simply rely on him. Arin smiled softly, accepting his reassurances and asking rhetorically who else she could trust if not him. As Seo Arin gazed at her bodyguard, her thoughts drifted back to when the company first assigned him to her. Initially wary, she had felt he was there to monitor her every move. However, his crucial support in the other world had saved her from certain death in the first round. Reflecting on their past together, her bodyguard assured her he would protect her no matter what, urging her not to give up. Arin smiled gratefully, thanking him for his encouraging words. Changing the subject, Arin mentioned their new downstairs neighbors and how the rice cakes they had brought looked delicious. Without hesitation, her bodyguard warned her against indulging, cautioning that she would gain weight. Arin defended their gesture as kindness, but her bodyguard dismissed it, convinced they expected something in return. He believed they would have become a nuisance if she had accepted their gift. Observing the brothers, Arin noted that one looked barely over 15 and speculated he must have slain 100 goblins to survive, too. The bodyguard responded indifferently, assuming he probably had. Arin felt a pang of guilt, marveling at his composure despite enduring such harsh trials. Her bodyguard sighed, remarking that killing 100 goblins wasn't difficult and those who couldn't were simply incompetent. Pale and introspective, Arin thought her bodyguard was skilled even by the otherworld standards, though not as much as MC Black Scythe. Watching him, she almost pitied the goblins, wondering what job he held in the real world. She believed she could survive the second round if she were with him, wrapping her arms around herself. She considered herself fortunate to have survived the first round, but questioned her chances of making it through the next. In the quiet of their home, Raiwan greeted MC with a smile as he returned. MC casually revealed that he had received around 15 billion won, prompting Raiwan to exclaim in disbelief, questioning whether the bank had not questioned him given it was his fourth win. MC reminisced about how even the bank's president was shocked at his repeated luck, recalling their conversation where he mentioned the dream that led to his wins. Raiwan, stunned into silence, eventually asked if MC planned to invest it all in Bitcoin again. MC confirmed his intentions, citing that his investment had grown to 150 billion won. Concerned, Raiwan suggested selling some, fearing a drop in Bitcoin's value, but MC reassured him it wasn't the right time. He comforted Raiwan, assuring him that he would handle everything and suggested they have lunch together. They enjoyed a luxurious meal and later returned home after shopping in the evening. As the night deepened, at 11:55 p.m., MC sat on his bed, preparing himself mentally. Raiwan, holding MC's hands tightly, expressed his worry, pleading for MC to return safely. MC, reassuringly, mentioned seeing himself overpowering even Bang Taegyu, trying to calm Raiwan's fears. Despite his efforts, Raiwan remained anxious, holding MC's hands tightly. MC gently patted Raiwan's head, urging him to sleep instead of worrying needlessly, promising he'd be awake when Raiwan woke. With their heartfelt exchange done, MC gradually drifted off to sleep. Soon, he found himself in the other world, transported to a forest, just as all the other players were simultaneously whisked away to begin their next challenge. As the players found themselves in the new location of the other world, they began to comment on their sudden arrival, some expressing displeasure at being back. Among them, one player recognized MC, referring to him as Black Scythe, the player who had ranked first in the previous round. MC noticed the wary gazes and the distance others kept from him, realizing that his reputation had preceded him here as well. He scanned the surroundings, expecting the appearance of someone in particular. Just then, another angel materialized before them, asking if all the players had arrived. Some players noted that this angel was different from the one who oversaw the first round, prompting questions about what had happened. The new angel explained that the previous angel in charge had met with an accident and couldn't fulfill her duties, leaving the players bewildered. Despite the unsettling news, the angel reassured them not to panic, smiling reassuringly. However, her demeanor quickly shifted as she menacingly chuckled, announcing that she would now guide them through the quests of the second round. Spreading her wings, she prepared to brief them on what lay ahead. Suddenly, the system screen appears before all the players, revealing the main quest for the second round, to select a zone representative within the next 3 hours. The players, seeing the quest, are puzzled, some expecting another monster fight. One player, examining the system closely, points out the number of people who passed, prompting another to ask if this means they will survive this round. The angel, smirking, notes their confusion and offers to explain. She reassures them that this is not a combat round, they simply need to choose a zone representative. She adds that the zone representative will have significant authority, such as making others crawl or even die, and asks if that isn't an amazing power. Floating in the air, she tells them they have 3 hours to decide on their representative and that voting will take place then. One player questions if that's all there is to it, to which the angel confirms. She reassures them that just voting will count as passing the round, allowing them to return home, describing it as a rest round. Hearing this, the players around the MC shout in joy, relieved that they don't have to face death this round. Another player compares the ease of this round to the previous one. As the angel starts to disappear, she reminds them to discuss and choose their zone representative over the next 3 hours. All the players, relieved, question if they will indeed survive just by voting after 3 hours, marveling at how awesome that is. Another comments on the authoritative power granted to the zone representative. Yo-min, agitated, complains about how lame it is since he was prepared to fight this round. His friend tries to reassure him, urging him to let it go, and reminding him that they can survive just by voting, questioning why that would be something to complain about. Yo-min sulks, explaining that he invested everything into his strength stat and is frustrated that he won't get to use it. Listening to their conversation, MC speculates that Yo-min might have obtained the rune of strength and observes the situation, remarking that everything is happening as it always has. He notes that while everyone will discuss who to vote for over the next 3 hours, his focus is elsewhere. He believes that if there is a main quest, there must also be a sub-quest, which he identifies as class selection, obtaining a class for themselves. To gain a class, MC needs to reach level 10 quickly. While contemplating this, MC spots a goblin in front of him and taunts it to come at him. The goblin rushes towards him, screaming, but MC doesn't give it a chance to get close. He swiftly rushes toward it and decapitates it with a single swing of his dagger. The system displays his current kill count, awarding him plus 9% experience and 15 gold. Additionally, the system indicates that all his stats will increase by 1% due to the effects of the Rune of Slaughter. After slaying the goblin, MC reflects that coming deep into the forest was a good idea, as where there is one goblin, there are always more. As more goblins appear, a smile spreads across MC's face as he prepares to kill them one by one. In the next moment, he stabs a goblin in the chest, killing it and throwing it to the ground. The system announces his current kill count of 5,100 and indicates that his stats have increased by 50% due to the Rune of Slaughter. As he continues to kill goblins, he levels up, and half an hour passes. MC opens his stats window, revealing that he has leveled up to 9 and gained 8 stat points, which he allocates to agility. He remarks that while it makes sense for someone like Yo-min, who has the Rune of Strength, to put points into strength, it's not the best idea for everyone. Without enough agility, even a strong person can die from a critical attack. He reflects on the 4 components of stats: strength, intelligence, agility, and luck. Strength affects physical damage, stamina, and defense power. Intelligence affects magic damage, mentality, and calculation speed. Agility affects attack speed, movement speed, and dodging. Luck affects the chance of critical damage, item drops, and extra gold rewards. Considering the value of each stat, MC concludes that they are all important and that the Grim Reaper class, which uses both physical and magical damage, benefits from raising all stats equally. As he finishes his thoughts, MC notices someone following him. Realizing he was too focused on fighting goblins to pay attention earlier, he points toward the bushes and demands that the follower reveal themselves or face death. A blonde girl steps out from behind the trees, whom MC recognizes as the actress, Arin. He questions why she was following him. Arin apologizes, and her bodyguard also apologizes, explaining that they didn't have bad intentions and urging MC to calm down. MC looks at the name tag and states, on Sankyul, realizing this person is Mar Gyanrock's right hand. Mar Gyanrock is the eldest son of the nation's largest corporation and goes by the username Heavenly Demon. He is one of the people MC is targeting because having him as an ally would significantly strengthen MC. However, MC also needs a priest with a connection to Mar Gyanrock for the 20th round. MC didn't expect to encounter Mar Gyanrock's right hand so early and wonders why he is with Seo Arin. He considers if Sankyul might be the bodyguard he saw with Arin yesterday. Reflecting on the fact that Mar Gyanrock's company sponsors celebrities, he realizes it might explain the connection, but decides it doesn't matter now. He asks how long they had been following him and internally notes his dislike for the altered future. Arin explains that they have been following him since he entered the forest and apologizes. MC asks why they followed him, and Arin responds that they had no bad intentions and simply wanted to offer him something. Curious, MC asks what they mean by an offer. Arin explains that since he got first place in the first round, she thought they might form a team together. MC scoffs, telling her that the word team only applies if they are useful to him. He dismisses their offer, stating he doesn't need them and is doing fine on his own. He tells them to stop wasting his time and go back, walking away and emphasizing that he has no desire to form a team with them whatsoever. The bodyguard clicks his teeth in disapproval, remarking on MC's arrogance. Arin, on the other hand, falls to her knees, sighing. The bodyguard asks what's wrong, to which Arin replies that MC is in first place for a reason, noting how intimidating his aura was. The bodyguard retorts that anyone would be intimidated with a knife to their face. Arin expresses her disappointment that she couldn't form a team with MC, but the bodyguard reminds her that he had warned her about people like MC, who have strong egos and never work in teams. Arin laments the missed opportunity, but the bodyguard counters that the real shame is the time they wasted following MC around. Looking at the dead goblin corpses, Arin remarks that she didn't expect monsters in the forest and asks the bodyguard if they should hunt the monsters with the remaining time. The bodyguard agrees it's not a bad idea, and they both head into the forest to start hunting. Meanwhile, deeper in the forest, a goblin cautiously looks around. Suddenly, MC emerges from the bushes behind it, striking it down. He reflects on his encounter with Arin, questioning why he would want to join their party when his priority is leveling up. As he kills the last goblin, the system shows his current kill count at 60 or 100 and that all his stats have increased by 60% due to the Rune of Slaughter. More monsters appear from the bushes, and MC thinks he's lucky to encounter so many gnolls at once. The gnolls rush towards MC, leaping into the air to attack him all at once. Before they can land, MC delivers a clean strike, slicing each of them in half midair. They fall to the ground lifeless, and the system announces his kill count is now 65. His stats have increased to 65%, and he has leveled up to 10. The system informs MC that he has fulfilled the conditions for a class change by reaching level 10, which grants him access to the shop. Additionally, a hidden subquest is revealed, requiring him to change his class before voting begins, retrieve the class change item, and obtain a new class. If successful, he will receive a 50% discount coupon for today's items. Most players encountering this subquest for the first time experience confusion. While it's clear that obtaining a class is beneficial, the method to retrieve the class change item is unknown to them. To obtain the class change item, players must fulfill specific conditions related to their desired class. Warriors must raise their strength stat to 10 and catch 30 monsters within an hour, berserkers must hunt continuously for an hour while bleeding, and assassins need to succeed in several ambushes from behind. In essence, only by performing actions related to a specific class can one receive the item. Initially, MC repeatedly chased monsters, which led to him receiving the Hunter class. After learning about the Grim Reaper class and how to obtain it, he focused exclusively on that goal. He used the class change item, at which point the system warned him that he couldn't change his class again later, advising careful consideration. The system then prompted MC to confirm if he wanted to change to the Grim Reaper class. Without hesitation, he chose to switch classes. The system confirmed MC's change to the Grim Reaper class and awarded him the Grim Reaper rune as a reward. The rune's effects include doubling weapon attack damage when wielding a scythe and increasing attack speed by an additional 50% at night. The system notified MC that the rune would automatically be imprinted on his body, and he received the Grim Reaper's scythe as a reward to commemorate his class change. After completing the class change, MC notices that he has received several rewards. Along with the Grim Reaper rune and scythe, his rank has improved from beginner to apprentice, and he has earned a 50% discount coupon for completing the subquest. His status window now shows his updated level at 10, with 2 titles, Last Time Regressor and First Ever Angel Slayer. His stats are 4 in Strength, 4 in Intelligence, 31 in Agility, and 4 in Luck. Player ranks are categorized into 6 levels: Beginner, Level 1, Apprentice, Level 10, Regular, Level 20, Expert, Level 40, Master, Level 60, and Grandmaster, Level 99. Advancing through these ranks provides various perks, such as gaining new class-specific skills, unlocking previously inaccessible skills, and equipping higher-ranked items. The system informs MC that he has learned that Insignia of Death class skill. This skill creates an insignia visible only to the target and the caster, allowing MC to see the target's remaining health and deal an additional 100% damage with each attack. It can only be used on one target at a time. As the first player to advance to Apprentice, MC receives a random gold pouch as a reward and the neutral skill Tracking, which allows him to track a target's location based on their face and nickname. Pleased with his rewards, MC decides to test out the Tracking skill. He uses it to locate Huang Yongming. The system confirms that Huang Yongming's face and nickname match the tracking criteria and begins to track his location. A blue light appears in front of MC, and the system instructs him to follow the arrow to locate the target. The system reports that Huang Yongming is 190 meters away. As MC considers the surprising distance between himself and Yongming, he wonders if Yongming has also ventured into the forest. He recalls from a previous attempt that Yongming was 2 kilometers away, sparking his curiosity about Yongming's current activities. Inside the forest, tension escalates. Arin and her bodyguard, both wounded and breathless, are desperately trying to escape an unseen threat. Arin stumbles and falls, struggling to get up and lamenting to the bodyguard that her legs can no longer support her. The bodyguard, determined to keep them moving despite the danger of being caught, helps Arin to her feet, insisting she stand despite the pain. Arin, grimacing, apologizes as she mentions the burning sensation where an arrow hit her. The bodyguard tries to reassure her, explaining that even if they get hurt in this virtual world, their real bodies should remain unaffected, a theory he hopes holds true. He encourages her that if they can survive this ordeal, they might find a way back to their real lives. Bolstered slightly, Arin agrees to push on, but before they can resume their escape, a voice halts them. Yongming and his group, armed and imposing, confront the injured duo. With a mocking tone, Yongming questions if their wounds are not painful enough, hinting at further aggression. The bodyguard, feeling a mix of anger and responsibility, silently blames Arin for their predicament, pondering if fighting is their only option. As he defensively holds out his dagger, Yongming taunts him further, challenging the bodyguard to notice their numerical disadvantage and questioning their motives for such hostility. The scene brims with tension as the bodyguard demands to know why they are being targeted, escalating the confrontation in the shadowed woods. Yongming's smirk deepens as he dismissively tells the bodyguard that they haven't done anything to warrant an attack, they simply want something, or rather, someone, next to him. He makes it clear that he has no interest in the bodyguard, his target is Seo Arin. One of Yongming's companions, a bald man, questions if the girl truly is Seo Arin, while another mocks his inability to recognize her despite her nickname and appearance matching exactly. A third member of Yongming's group speculates that perhaps someone is impersonating her to gain notoriety. Hearing this, Arin is terrified, realizing that these men do not care about her true identity as long as she fits the appearance thereafter. Yongming bluntly proposes that the bodyguard leaves Seo Arin behind and promises to let him go if he complies. The bodyguard glares fiercely, internally admitting that had he known Seo Arin was the target from the beginning, he might have abandoned her without hesitation, unwilling to risk his life for her. However, he is caught in a dilemma. Failing to protect Seorin would disappoint his superior, Ma Gyeonglok. Resigned to his fate and bound by his duty, the bodyguard adopts a fighting stance, dagger ready. Yeongmin, amused by the bodyguard's readiness to fight, questions his actions, asking if he truly intends to combat them. The bodyguard retorts, questioning if Yeongmin is aware of the criminality of his actions. Yeongmin laughs off the remark, cynically pointing out the lack of applicable laws in the game world. He taunts the bodyguard, daring him to try reporting him in the real world, skeptically noting the absence of proof and questioning the authenticity of his own in-game appearance. Frustrated by Yeongmin's dismissive attitude yet acknowledging the twisted logic, the bodyguard feels his anger boil over. With no legal recourse and facing a stark reality, he realizes fighting is his only option left. As the bodyguard grapples with his dilemma, he notices a figure with a black side to his left. It's MC, who appears unexpectedly. Yeongmin, caught off guard, wonders how and when MC arrived. As MC stands up straight, he inquires about the situation, addressing the bodyguard directly. Yeongmin attempts to dismiss MC, urging him to continue on his way, but MC cuts him off, making it clear he wasn't addressing Yeongmin. The bodyguard, sensing an opportunity, hesitantly explains that they were ambushed because Yeongmin and his group were targeting Arin. He admits to MC that his help in this situation would put him in the bodyguard's debt. Yeongmin, annoyed, clicks his teeth in frustration and dismissively tells MC that the truth of the matter shouldn't concern him and insists he should just leave. MC, stepping forward, confronts Yeongmin, emphasizing that these are people he knows and he cannot simply ignore the situation. Yeongmin, now visibly frightened by MC's imposing presence and his grip on the scythe, stammers a question about MC's intentions. With a firm resolve, MC, holding his scythe over his shoulder and facing the shocked group, tells Yeongmin that he cannot stand by while someone is wounded and in danger. As Yeongmin grits his teeth in frustration, both the bodyguard and Arin express their gratitude to MC for stepping in to protect them. MC, positioning himself defensively in front of them, is internally calculating the benefits of his intervention. He knows that helping them could significantly boost his standing with Ma Gyeonglok, a powerful conglomerate leader whose favor could yield substantial rewards. Additionally, MC is driven by a personal disdain for Yeongmin and his tactics. Yeongmin, visibly unnerved and his fear palpable, confronts MC, threatening him with violence if he advances further. MC, unfazed, challenges Yeongmin, asking if he's afraid to fight. Remembering MC's formidable prowess in battle and his top-rank achievements, Yeongmin internally debates the wisdom of engaging in a fight with someone known for his overwhelming strength. MC, with a strategic calm, sets his scythe into the ground and directly asks Yeongmin if he truly wants to avoid the fight. Yeongmin, caught off guard by the proposition, hesitates when MC suggests that he could consider letting him go if Yeongmin kneels and earnestly begs for his life. This suggestion throws Yeongmin into a mental turmoil, pondering the humiliation of such an act in front of his friends and Arin. Yeongmin, driven by a mix of pride and anger, and believing in his own strength, which he boasts could break a wall with a single punch, decides to challenge MC's boundaries. He smirks defiantly, questioning MC's intentions and implying that the only resolution he sees is through death or victory. As he steps closer to MC, Yeongmin strategizes that closing the distance will allow him to deliver a knockout punch, one he believes could end the confrontation decisively. He clings to the hope that not even MC could withstand an attack powerful enough to shatter brick, underestimating the skills and resilience of his opponent. As Yeongmin and MC's confrontation escalates, MC begins to put away his scythe, catching Yeongmin off guard. Yeongmin questions MC's actions, to which MC replies that it would be unfair and boring to fight when only one of them is armed. Yeongmin, increasingly agitated, accuses MC of being utterly ridiculous. Without hesitation, MC springs into action, charging at Yo-min, who, confident in his physical strength, prepares to deliver a punishing blow, mocking MC for his apparent vulnerability. However, as Yo-min throws his punch aiming for MC's head, MC deftly dodges and counters with a powerful kick to Yo-min's stomach, sending him flying. Groveling in pain, Yo-min curses at MC, who retorts by advising him to watch his language as he delivers another kick, flipping Yo-min from his stomach to his back. MC then grabs Yo-min by the shirt and begins to pummel his face repeatedly. With each hit feeling like a hammer, Yo-min is bewildered, unable to understand how MC could match his strength without an apparent strength room. As MC delivers the final blow, Yo-min is left questioning the source of MC's formidable power. Meanwhile, seeing their leader being beaten, Yo-min's friends react. The archer in the group, fueled by anger, draws his bow and fires at MC. Arin, concerned, yells for MC to dodge. With ease, MC sidesteps, avoiding the flurry of arrows aimed at him. As MC approaches the archer, he taunts him about his luck in monster hunting before swiftly drawing his scythe. In a swift motion, MC slices off the hand holding the bow, leaving the archer in shock and agony as he collapses, screaming. The other friends, witnessing the archer's plight, hurl threats at MC, questioning if he thinks he can assault them and just walk away. As one of them, a bald guy, charges at MC declaring him dead, MC calmly asks if he truly believes that. At that moment, MC activates his insignia of death skill, placing a marker above the bald guy's head, signaling a dire turn in the fight. As the confrontation reaches its apex, MC wields his scythe with precision and devastating power, the weapon emanating a crimson aura. With a swift swing, he slashes off both feet of the bald guy, who writhes in pain. The aura isn't just for show, it signifies the lethal efficacy of this insignia of death skill, which doubles the damage dealt by MC, allowing him to slice through armor and flesh alike. Another of Yo-min's friends, armed with a dagger and trembling with horror after witnessing the brutal dismemberment of his companion, can barely muster the courage to consider escape. But before he can move, MC leaps towards him, admonishing him that wielding a weapon requires the resolve to face its consequences. With another clean strike, MC severs the man's hand, who then screams in agony. MC, indifferent to the pain he's inflicted, verifies the effectiveness of his insignia skill, noting the ease with which he cuts through his opponents. Surveying the aftermath, MC sees Yo-min's friends incapacitated, moaning on the ground. Despite the ease with which he dispatched them, MC knows he must instill a profound fear to ensure they do not retaliate. As he approaches the last of the group, the man begs for mercy, clutching his severed hand and pleading for his life. MC coldly instructs him to stop whining, claiming that such wounds won't kill him, as he flicks the blood from his side, causing the man to flinch in terror. Realizing the battle is effectively over, MC turns his attention to finding his next target. He notices Yo-min trying to hide, gasping for air in a mix of fear and desperation, clutching his dagger. Without hesitation, MC strikes, severing Yo-min's hands. Standing behind the now screaming Yo-min, MC scolds him for his cries, reflecting on past bullying he endured from them, and considering the current pain he's inflicting as a form of retributive justice. As MC decisively cuts off Yo-min's right hand, the scene unfolds brutally before Arin and the bodyguard. Yo-min's pain-filled screams echo through the area, and although the bodyguard is shocked by MC's ruthless action, he finds a sense of respect for MC's cool-headedness in combat. To him, MC's demeanor and capability make him seem as influential and formidable as a president. After dealing with Yo-min, MC turns to check on the bodyguard, who expresses his gratitude for MC's intervention. MC assures them that Yo-min and his group are no longer a threat, as they are incapacitated and can do little more than perhaps cast a vote. Both the bodyguard and Arin bow deeply, sincerely thanking MC for his assistance. Arin voices her concern that Yomin and his friends might succumb to their injuries, to which MC dismissively responds that their lives don't matter, likening them to beasts. This harsh judgment shocks Arin, highlighting her compassionate nature, which MC questions, wondering if her concern for their lives makes her a saintess. Interrupting MC's contemplation, the bodyguard asks why MC chose to spare their lives, given that killing them wouldn't pose an issue in this otherworldly realm. This question causes Yomin to shudder, fearing for his life. MC appreciates the bodyguard's insight, acknowledging the strategic thinking expected from Gyeongrok's right-hand man. MC explains that the reason for sparing them is simple: their deaths would bring him no benefit. The bodyguard counters, suggesting that leaving them alive might cause future problems. MC, considering this, looks back at Yomin's frightened group, who avert their eyes in fear. He poses a question to the bodyguard, challenging whether these defeated and fearful individuals are even capable of causing further trouble. MC explains his rationale to the bodyguard, pointing out that decreasing the population within the game would also reduce the number of spots available for players, making it harder for everyone to progress through the rounds. This perspective highlights MC's strategic thinking about the game's broader mechanics, not just immediate threats or opportunities. The bodyguard, impressed by MC's awareness of such intricate details, realizes the wisdom in this approach. He acknowledges that fewer participants mean fewer opportunities for people to advance, underscoring the importance of keeping as many players in the game as possible, even if they are adversaries. Amazed at MC's understanding and foresight, the bodyguard expresses his agreement, assuring MC that they will also ignore the incapacitated group. As MC prepares to leave, the bodyguard attempts to extend his gratitude further by asking for MC's account number to compensate him for his help. However, MC dismissively rejects the offer of compensation and departs, leaving a lasting impression on the bodyguard with his disinterest in any reward. The bodyguard, profoundly impacted by MC's actions and principles, resolves to report this incident to President Gyeongrok once he returns. He glances at the moaning Yomin on the ground with disdain, reflecting on his own initial desire to eliminate them. Recalling MC's strategic advice about the lack of benefit in killing them, he reluctantly spares Yomin and his group, though he cannot resist expressing his contempt by spitting at Yomin as a final gesture of disgust. In the chaotic scene of the open area, tension mounts as players vie for the role of zone representative, each trying to persuade the crowd in their favor. Shouts and promises fill the air as one player boasts of his abilities, only to be challenged by another who claims he can do a better job, disparagingly calling the first a skinny ass. This provokes a heated reaction, leading the skinny guy to grab the collar of his accuser, labeling him a fat pig. The insult escalates the tension further. Amidst the rising conflict, a bystander attempts to intervene, urging the contenders to cooperate rather than fight, highlighting the need for unity in their situation. However, his plea is quickly overshadowed by a girl who argues that easily agitated individuals shouldn't represent them, positioning herself as a more suitable candidate. Adding to the turmoil, another player, a second fat guy, throws his hat in the ring by leveraging his father's political status, claiming that having a congressman's son as a representative would be beneficial. This claim is met with skepticism from the surrounding players, who demand proof and question his trustworthiness. As the disputes grow, Mint Chok Man captures everyone's attention with a timely interjection, reminding them that only 2 hours remain until voting concludes. He criticizes the current waste of time and advocates for a more efficient approach to the voting process. Curious and now focused on him, the players inquire about his proposed solution. With a knowing smirk, Mint Chok Man senses that his rune of persuasion is influencing the crowd, indicating that his ability to sway the players might again be at play. His intervention shifts the dynamic, drawing interest and anticipation from the players who are now eager to hear his solution. When Mint Chok Man first received his random rune fragment, he was quite disappointed. The rune of persuasion, which could enhance the likelihood of persuading someone he could communicate with, seemed useless to him. It didn't affect those who were higher level than he was, and he initially thought it wouldn't work on monsters at all. However, he soon discovered its potential. In his first test, Mint Choc Man instructed some players who were fiercely battling goblins to abandon their fight and help a woman in dire need. The players immediately dashed to her aid, which allowed Mint Choc Man to easily achieve a 100 goblin kill count as he had redirected the players away from the goblins, making it easier for him to defeat them. Recalling his successful strategy from the first round, Mint Choc Man believed that if he could effectively utilize the rune of persuasion, he could easily secure the position of zone representative. He instructed the players to select and vote for candidates for this position, suggesting they choose around 5 people and then vote for one of them. The players agreed, realizing that advocating for themselves alone wouldn't get them anywhere. Mint Choc Man then asked players to nominate candidates and raise their hands if they had someone to suggest. When a notably large player raised his hand to recommend himself, Mint Choc Man swiftly rejected this, explaining that self-nominations would lead to everyone trying to become candidates. This move caused the players to reassess their decisions, and Mint Choc Man, concealing his satisfaction, noted how easy it was to influence them in this environment. As the players struggled to think of candidates other than themselves, Mint Choc Man realized that the most noticeable person might end up being the candidate by default. At this moment, someone behind him raised their hand to suggest Mint Choc Man as a candidate. Mint Choc Man smiled in anticipation, and another player supported the idea, suggesting that someone with strong leadership skills and logical thinking would be an ideal leader. Mint Choc Man questioned whether he truly was the kind of leader the players described. One of the players responded that he had already been guiding them, asking others for their opinions, which made Mint Choc Man laugh inwardly, thinking how easily he could manipulate them. He thanked everyone for their confidence in him and asked if there were any other recommendations. A player suggested MC, which seemed obvious to him given his first place finish in the previous round. Another player nominated Life is a Documentary, who had placed second last round. Hearing this, another player recommended Black Flame Dragon, who had finished third. Mint Choc Man noted that with 4 candidates now, there was only 1 slot left. He asked if there were any other recommendations, but when no one spoke up, he decided to keep the candidates as they were. Mint Choc Man clapped his hands, announcing that they would proceed with the 4 candidates. He asked each candidate to say a few words before voting began. Mint Choc Man went first, confident it would be easy to sway the players. He began outlining his plans as zone representative, but was abruptly interrupted by someone calling his speech bullshit. Turning to see who it was, Mint Choc Man found Life is a Documentary, who had placed second in the rankings. Life is a Documentary approached and told Mint Choc Man he could no longer tolerate his empty promises. Mint Choc Man asked what the issue was. Documentary challenged him, questioning if he thought the world was so simple that people would follow him based on mere words. Panic rose within Mint Choc Man, who wondered if Documentary knew about his rune of persuasion, but he quickly reassured himself that it was unlikely. Documentary, visibly frustrated, demanded to know who Mint Choc Man thought he was to decide the zone representative, calling him a hypocrite. Mint Choc Man retorted, saying Documentary's words were unnecessarily harsh. He continued, suggesting that the way people speak reflects their true character and questioning whether such severe language was really necessary. Mint Choc Man was confident that his rune of persuasion would work this time. However, he was taken aback when Life is a Documentary aggressively insulted him, calling him a son of a bitch and questioning whether he wanted to die. Mint Choc Man was stunned. He couldn't believe his rune had failed to affect Life is a Documentary. Meanwhile, Life is a Documentary was shouting at the other players, threatening them to vote for him or face dire consequences. Mint Choc Man, regaining his composure, interrupted, calling documentary's behavior foolish. He asked if he really thought people would follow him based on such threats and advised him to stop embarrassing himself and step aside. Infuriated, Life is a Documentary drew his dagger and lunged at Mint Choc Man. Mint Choc Man was bewildered by the sudden attack, but soon felt a searing pain as blood began to pour from a wound in his neck. Life is a Documentary stood over him, reminding Mint Choc Man that he had warned him of the consequences of defiance. As Mint Choc Man fell to the ground, barely conscious, Life is a Documentary pointed at him and warned the others that if they didn't vote for him, they would share Mint Choc Man's fate. The players, horrified, watched in disbelief as Mint Choc Man lay bleeding, calling Life is a Documentary a murderer. Undeterred by their accusations, Documentary raised his blooded dagger and dared anyone to challenge him. When no one moved, Documentary smirked and declared that if they wouldn't come to him, he would come to them. In a swift, ruthless motion, he struck down everyone in his path before they could react. With a blooded face and a maniacal grin, Life is a Documentary laughed, reveling in the chaos. He remarked on how exhilarating it was to kill freely, without the interference of law enforcement, reporters, or cameras. After eliminating the last opponent, Documentary brandishes his dagger menacingly at the shocked and terrified crowd, threatening that if they don't vote for him, he will kill them next round. Observing that the players remain paralyzed with fear, Documentary's lips curl into a malicious smile, convinced that his intimidation will ensure their votes. His plan is to become the zone representative and then eliminate MC, whom he sees as an arrogant threat to his ambition of being the top player. Meanwhile, a system notification alerts MC that he has just killed a gnoll, bringing his kill count to 265 out of 100. This triggers a boost in his stats by 100% due to the slaughter rune and activates the triple experience buff. Despite this, MC notes that leveling up has become increasingly sluggish. Although he has slain 200 monsters in 2 hours, he has only advanced by 6 levels, reaching level 16. MC's hunting efficiency is greatly enhanced by the Firm Reaper's rune and the Rune of Slaughter, which double his stats and weapon attack power. As the timer expires, MC sheathes his scythe, bathed in golden light. The system displays that the voting period has ended and prompts that all players are being teleported to the starting point for the voting process. That'll be it for this video. If you enjoyed it, please leave a like and subscribe and comment if you want more of this series. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.